This Monday night, we're sending you back to the podcast.
Oh, jeez. Hey.
Welcome back to the podcast. I'm Josh Delgado, my sister Glenda Delgado, feeling better this week. Today we're going to talk all things Avatar, and then at the end of the year, we're going to do our top 5 movies of the year, kind of put together quickly. We obviously haven't seen everything, so this is just what we enjoyed the most. So let's start off, let's go straight to Avatar. I don't know if have you noticed there's a lot of hate towards James Cameron.
I didn't know until recently, but the stuff I'm reading are about, the indigenous representation. But I don't know in general, is he hated or?
It almost feels like the Snyderverse stuff where I've seen a lot of comments where, yeah, this is the indigenous stuff, which I understand.
Yeah.
We'll get to that. Yeah. There's also just stuff, I guess, because he was involved in the last Terminator, which wasn't very good, and he likes to leave a lot of quotes, and maybe it feels like he likes the sound of his own voice or something. I know where he's coming from. Obviously, the guy's he's obsessed with the ocean. That's why it was no surprise what this movie was.
Right.
But there's a lot of just like, good luck to $1 billion. Like, who approved that? And like, he'll be lucky to make 200 million. And it's like, and the hate still comes.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if this movie would make $1 billion or not. He's never missed. He's pretty much always been an up trajectory. This has been a long layover, and I saw a lot of the hate. Well, it's at 1.1 billion. It's the sixth fastest. Sixth fastest there. Obviously, there's always inflation when it comes to movies, so the real barometer can also be actual tickets sold opposed to how much it was sold for. Especially when it's like IMAX 3D, but it doesn't matter.
But $1 billion is $1 billion.
Yeah, $1 billion is $1 billion. Yeah. So for all the haters, So let's clear some things up. It already made over $1 billion. It might go to 2. So James Cameron, he knows how to promote a film. He's been flaunting. Oh, this is the most expensive movie ever made. $1 billion. You gotta know what's going on and read between the lines. But he didn't make one movie for $1 billion. Just get that out of the way. He made 2.5 movies or more than half for $1 billion. They all average around somewhere, we don't know, 250 million to 350 million, maybe not including advertising. That's where the billion. He already finished. 2 movies are done. They're wrapped. Part 2 and 3 are wrapped. And most of part 4 is wrapped because he wanted the kids to stay the same age throughout all the movies. This is why it costs over $1 billion. Some people say 1.5 billion, $1 billion, we don't know. This is why it costs so much, okay? Just because Jim Cameron hyped it up doesn't mean, if you actually read the articles, guys, the movies didn't cost that. He actually saved money by doing this. Yeah. And he says he's doing it for the kids to stay young. It doesn't matter if the kids stay young because they're animated anyway, so I don't understand that.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of funny because he made Sigourney Weaver 14.
Yeah, exactly. So like, and then he gets clowned for that because like, well, one of them is 14. The only one that has to look young is Spider, and Spider looks 21 to me anyway. Apparently he wasn't. Apparently he's like 14, 15 in the movie. The guy that plays him. Yeah, but he looks like a grown ass man. Yeah, he looks like a grown ass man. So it doesn't even matter. So I get why people clown him, but it's like, geez, relax, everybody. The movie already paid for the sequel. This movie's already paid for the sequel. It's going to be all freaking profit from here. And Disney, and they're like, why would Disney approve this? Well, Fox actually, this is a Fox movie that Disney absorbed, so Fox paid for most of it anyway, so why not?
Yeah.
So I don't even see like, well, obviously these, to finish, to finish part 4 and then conclude everything at part 5, this one had to be profitable. It is profitable. I don't see any reason not to make it at part 5 at this point. You already finished most of 4 anyway, so.
Yeah.
So it's done. We're not going to get to the review yet, though. So I just want to get that out there. So somebody,
I think it's like
is annoying.
Exactly. It's like what we're saying about like the people that are angry are always the loudest. I don't think it means. I think hopefully that proves that sometimes just because people are making a lot of noise, that's not how everyone feels. And also he's got a lot of international appeal too, so that's part of why his numbers are so high. But
you need that Chinese market for sure.
Yeah.
It's just so annoying. Like, who's gonna see this movie? It's like
Um,
me.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I feel like a lot of them are lying that they're not gonna go see it.
Yeah.
Uh, it just felt like Snyderverse fans, because I'll say Cavell fans have been pretty good. They're like disappointed. They like you. They
Yeah.
wanted to see you. Well, you were a little crazy about it, but like, oh, I really feel bad for him. I want to see him as Superman, but I understand, I guess. But I mean, he could get one more movie. That I understand. That I perfectly understand wanting one
Yeah,
more
I think
movie.
yeah, exactly. I think that he should have at least had another movie or a trilogy or at least like what everybody wanted, the Superman that they knew.
Yeah,
But yeah, this is like I guess I didn't realize how much people don't like him or all that noise. I heard about the indigenous stuff, which we could talk about too. Um,
yeah. So the okay, so the digital stuff, it don't bother me. I mean, so the one thing I always see is, oh, well, Dances the Wolves did it first. Well, like, let me see, probably 10 or 20 years before that, Little Big Men came out before Dances Wolves, and it's the same story too. A lot of
yeah, I'm not.
stories already, most stories already been told.
Yes, it's all how you tell it. And also, so I was conflicted because I think there's some truth to what they're saying. For example, like if you're going to borrow from a lot of those cultures, which he did, he borrowed from a lot of indigenous cultures. How are you casting Kate Winslet to be the leader of these tribes? I didn't realize that she was cast actually. Um, I thought it was legit a person of color because she was
The
just
accent.
portrayed so well. So, and the accent. So I am conflicted, and then some people's argument. Not even James. I don't know if James Cameron has commented on it at all. Some of the people's arguments is that it's they're aliens, and I can see that too. But I do think that if you're borrowing so much from another culture, you should like pay homage to that. Some people don't like the white savior idea, so was being really thoughtful and like really like hearing all of that out and thinking about it. And I think that what really changed, I mean, I won't say I changed my mind because I can see their side. I think they're valid points. But I think where I see James Cameron's side is, oh, another thing he said, I don't know if you heard, but like apparently 10 years ago, he said if Indigenous people had a glimpse to the future and they had seen where they were headed as far as like the high suicide rates and how they live now, that they would have fought harder. And it was just like it's a very like Kanye like, thing to say in like when Kanye made the statement about,
It's not even close. What do you mean?
well when
Why do you say
Kanye
he
made
loves Hitler? What do
no
you
no no
mean?
no no I'm talking about when Kanye said that slavery was a choice in that
It's not,
sense. Like
I don't see it.
well, anyway, I think, well, in any case, it came to be that what Kanye was saying was something different, only in that we're still slaves to like the government and stuff like that. But anyway, this is something James Cameron said 10 years ago. And today, because of the topics you sent, I did watch the interview between Robert Rodriguez and James Cameron that Variety put together. Um, and I think James Cameron explained himself really well without touching what people are thinking about that. But like, he really is passionate about the indigenous culture. So people always talk about the balance between appreciation and appropriation. And I think that he appreciates the culture. And the more you think about the story, Sam Worthington's character is not the savior. Actually, from the first movie, he was really the villain, and he was there to infiltrate, and he was changed because of the people.
Well,
And
he's both.
well, yeah, I mean now he's both, but not in the beginning. He was only
No,
inside of the thing of the avatar.
he's both because he's the one that he's the Omuptu, whatever it's called. He's the one that gets the biggest flying creature, and then
Oh,
he
because he's
moves around.
chosen.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know if but I don't think that makes him a savior. I think that's Aowa
He
saying,
becomes the leader of the people.
but that doesn't make him a savior. I mean, what I'm saying is that he's fighting against, you know, I felt like the way it was told makes sense. You do need somebody, even in war, it does help to have somebody that knows the intel on the other side to defeat them, right? So in that sense, it's not because he was white that helped him; it was his knowledge of the other side and then
No, it's
turning
the
on
fact
them.
that it was the white guy that that became them, and like dances was Little Big Man.
Yeah,
Uh,
and
he helped
I
them fight.
look, I get that, but I think that it's just I think that well, I think Dances with Wolves is different, but we're this is like he defeated them or helped defeat them with his knowledge, and I mean I get it, but again, like I see their point too, but I don't
Yeah.
know if I see him as like white savior as far as like I don't know I
So it's funny because that quote you said, I interpreted completely different. Like he was empathetic towards Native Americans, not like a Kanye thing at all.
Yeah, but they
Um,
don't see it that way. They're saying, come on, like, how could you say that? Like, they were having their children taken, the women were still being
it sounds
raped
like
back
he
then.
feels bad about how they ended up. Um,
Yes, but for him to say that had they seen it, they would have fought harder is kind of like, it is a little shitty. It's kind of
I
like
think no,
I think they fought with
I don't know why you see that. I mean, that's just your. I see it completely different. That's your interpretation, but it's nowhere near what Kanye said, like at all. He didn't say it was a
well, you
choice.
can take the
Like
Kanye part out of
he
it.
said,
I
they
think,
fought. He's just for what the way I say it, it's like you said, it's sad how they ended up. And it's true. That's what Jonathan gets mad about all the time, how they ended up.
yeah, but
So
he's saying they
I
would have
mean,
fought hard. He's saying they would have fought harder if
yeah,
they knew. I think they knew where it was headed. Like, you know, they were fighting with them. How much harder could they fight? You know, once they knew where things were going. I think that's the sad part. He's implying that they didn't fight hard enough. You know,
I guess.
yes, yeah, he definitely has compassion, sure, you know, and also I could tell from the interview that he really cares about the indigenous culture. What he said, so what he said was that um, this idea of Iowa and that yes they can touch and connect with nature directly, but that's not a foreign idea. Native Americans felt that way too, and the way he feels is that we as a culture, if we don't learn from these old civilizations and beliefs, we won't evolve. Like we could actually be better as a humanity if we learned from them, if we took from what they did. And so I think in that sense I realize there's more appreciation there than there is appropriation. He's really appreciates the culture. And then I started thinking him using Kate Winslet and Sigourney Weaver. I mean, they're
Sigourney
legends.
made sense, but Kate Winslet
Yeah,
not as much.
Kate Winslet not as much, but we did talk about before how directors have their actors that they like to use.
So
And Kate Winslet is like an Oscar-winning actress. Like,
so yeah,
I
I
love
was
her too, fan of her. So I was weirded out that they chose her, but at the same time can see why he chose her.
yeah, that's the one thing I was disappointed with the cast, since there's I see his appreciation for the natives, but then you look at the cast like I mean you could have. I mean, what are the kids? Are the kids mixed? Or are they white? I don't even know.
I
It's too big
haven't
of a
that
cast.
part. I haven't looked up. I was really like thrown off when I
I'm
found
looking at
out
some
that they were.
pictures. They look like they might be kids of color, so that's good. I mean,
That's good.
well, and he does have a. Do you know the Alien story with one of his actresses who he uses, John Connor's stepmom?
Um,
She plays the Latina in Aliens.
John Connor's stepmom. Oh no, no, what's that?
So that's what's Vasquez, I think, in Aliens,
I
right?
think so.
So that's one of James Cameron's actors. She's in Titanic. She's in Terminator 2. So when she got casted to play Vasquez in Aliens, Latina, when she heard he wanted her to be in a movie called Aliens, she thought he meant illegal aliens, and
Yeah,
dressed up like what she pursued illegal alien would look like, and they thought it was hysterical, which I think is hysterical too. And I accept her. We all accept her as a badass Latina, even though she's the one of the whitest women of all time. But she represented it. So a different
yeah,
time she represented. So I'm not mad at it. No, none of us are mad at it. We all love her, but
Anytime, anywhere.
Right, right. Somebody said alien. She thought they said illegal alien and signed up.
Fuck you, man.
yeah,
it's kind of like James Cameron with the come on, dude. But it was a different time. But she represented,
yeah,
so she looked the part. She was badass.
yeah.
But now in
No,
retrospect, I would have loved the Latina in retrospect, but she did
exactly.
kill it.
Yeah, I think I can see both sides. I can see why indigenous people they want. I mean, they want to be represented. That's not bad.
And you know, I will say, actually, I don't think the character was ever meant to be Latina until she misunderstood what she was playing. And like, you know what? That's
Oh
pretty
my
cool.
God.
You're gonna be a Latino. So she actually added a Latino character in the movie because she didn't understand
Oh
in an
my
innocent
God.
way. So actually, you know what? We never even would have had a badass Latina if it wasn't for her misunderstanding.
But
So I
she
don't really.
wasn't really Latina, right?
No, she's just white as fuck. Look at her in Titanic. She's white as day.
Oh
Look at
my
her, John. You remember John Connor's stepmom? Like she's
Oh
super
my
white.
gosh, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
She just looks so different as Vasquez.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She's a great actress. Like she's a character actor. Like she just disappears into the role.
Oh, yes. Yeah, she does play John Connor. Yeah, John Connor's
Yeah.
stepmom.
So
Okay.
she
Oh
she
my
did us
God.
a favor. So real quick, you talked about the variety article. I have
Yeah.
the screenshot here. So your former employer,
Yeah.
they clearly have a lot. They have a blood oath that they're going to make a sequel to Alita.
I didn't hear about the blood oath.
Oh yeah, I thought you read. It's in your article you're talking about. They have it's a
Really?
blood
I
oath.
guess
So I don't know. You have to ask Robert how that blood oath went. Was it just thumbs or what? But
well,
they're gonna make a sequel to Alita, Battle Angel.
yeah, I
So
mean,
good.
I watched the video interview. I guess I missed the blood oath part.
Oh, okay. No, yeah, they wrote an article too. So you watched it. Okay.
I watched the
So I don't
actual
know.
it's like 30 minutes long.
Yeah. So so I get and James Cameron get all the pull in the world. This movies were the determining factor. Like, should we still listen to James Cameron or not? You know, apparently so. So hopefully sooner than later this sequel. I want a sequel. They can
I
they
want
can
a
work out the
sequel.
budget.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I love Rosa Salazar. No, he said in the interview they both agreed that they would do it, that they would do the sequel. So, and yeah, I think, the
maybe
success of Avatar will
I
definitely
like
encourage.
how involved he is with it too. They're involved together. So maybe he has to
Yeah.
finish the part 5 first. I don't know, but I want to see that movie.
Well, what he also said in the interview is that he believes in what so Guillermo del Toro talked about how in when he has like a group of filmmakers that he shows his films to and they like connect on their films, and James Cameron wants to like believes in having like filmmakers having a community like that, and Robert is part of his community, and he wants to encourage his filmmaker friends to make their films and help them in the process or whatever. It was a really good interview, but yeah, they have a lot of respect for each other. I could tell.
All right, let's talk about Way of the Water.
Okay.
So for me, I'm all about the cinematic experience, right? Blockbuster experience. I don't like seeing documentaries in the movie theater. I don't think that's necessary. You don't need ambience for a documentary. You just watch that at home. So for me, I love this. These type of movies are like cinematic masterpieces, you would say. So these are the movies definitely you have to see in the theater. If you're watching for the first time in a small screen, you're missing the whole experience. Um, that being said, well, it was a good movie. Definitely like a Marvel to watch. I
Mhm.
was more blown away the first time with the 3D and everything. You're in the jungle and everything. The water looks amazing. They looked so real, and they obviously did film in water and like
Did you
it.
watch it in 3D this time too?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I just saw the original in 3D too, and it wasn't as mind blowing this time around. I'll give it like an 8, just for it's kind of like a soft reboot, like The Force Awakens, where we're telling the same story again, just this time in water. So like, is the next one going to be the mountain people and then the volcano people? Like, what's going? It's like it was a good movie. It was a good movie, but it was also the more of the same. You can even say there's another white savior this time with Sigourney Weaver's character this time.
Yeah.
So it was good, but the journey was good. The performances were amazing. Like, and Marion was crying in the theater. But I'll give it an 8. First one I'll give it 10. This one I'll give it like an 8, just for being more of the same, which we were talking about James Cameron and his criticism. They always the nuance was like, oh, he's a bad writer. We see this, that's what was blah blah blah. I don't think he's a bad writer, but he's obviously sticking with the tropes. It's you can enjoy the journey, but it was too much of the same. It was too much of the same kind of art structure here. So, well, what did you think?
I could see what you're saying. I mean, I kind of felt that too. Like, okay, we're bringing back the same villain. We're having this war again. But as far as like progression of story goes, I mean, it seemed logical. It doesn't seem like Earth would just leave. So it does make sense that they would
Except
come
they
back.
did.
They did for that sake of that movie, but then they came back, and I'm sure I think it makes sense for them to come back. They're not just going to give up like that, all the technology and that they've built and all the research that they've done. And even the villain coming back again was cool. I think that it was really cool. But maybe, I guess felt like it needed to be incorporated better, like why him, I don't know, but I liked it. I mean, I'm all for like let's bring these people back. I love the theme of family, the theme of father and son. It seemed very realistic. So I think, and even just hearing how he described how he came up with the process, like he had the theme, he knew that the spectacle was going to be there. He knew what world he wanted to show, and then he needed to narrow down and focus what are the stories. And he had a writer's team and a writer's room. So I am very actually hopeful for the next few films, because I do think, like you're saying, this is just like a gentle, like, welcome back to Avatar, welcome back to the world that you know. Here's another part of the planet that you didn't know, another culture, which was cool to see. The spectacle was beautiful. I didn't see it in 3D. I do need to see it in 3D. I thought I cried too. When I love seeing the pregnant hero like fighting, like as a woman, it was really cool to see that. You don't really see pregnant women fighting in
Right,
wars. Huh?
Kind of a miscarriage.
She could, but I mean, the stakes are so high. I mean, it makes sense that she would get involved, and I like the portrayal. I mean, women are not perfect, just like men are not perfect. She probably shouldn't, but that doesn't make her bad. It just means that she's human and she had this desire and the skill set to want to help. I loved Spider. I thought I really loved his character, and like, I think that internal conflict within all the characters, I thought he did really well, which is what one of his goals is, to make sure that everybody kind of had a journey, and there's lots of characters and it's hard to do that in one film. But I felt like everybody had a journey, and I feel like that was beautiful. Like, I did feel weird about Sigourney Weaver being, like you said, the savior, which we don't know yet if she's a savior. Aya was choosing her for some reason, and I'm thinking because James Cameron's vision in the world or in life is that we all work together, and in reality, the indigenous groups and all the people of color, we need white people. We do need white people to work with us. We don't need them to be our savior per se, but we do need our communities to all work together, to reach a better level of like community and like humanity. And I think that's his goal. I think that's, knowing that, I feel like I can look at it with a different scope of like, okay, he's just saying, I think that both groups need to like work together. I don't know. But we'll see where the other stories go. But I think he's being very thoughtful in the journeys, and I like that, in like the characters. And
What would you rate it?
I give it. Well, see, I do like I rate I have a little rating system. But if we're saying 1 through 10, I'd give it a 9, or maybe close to a 10, 9.5. I think my only thing was maybe just like, we'll find out why Sigourney Weaver's the one chosen. You know, it would have been cool to see an indigenous
Well, let's
person
get to
chosen.
spoiler territory. Spoiler alert. Um, she's probably chosen something to do with the end of the last movie where she goes into the tree and she somehow
Yeah.
still gave birth, but still she was like dead already. So I don't know. It kind of makes her like a Jesus character.
Yeah.
But
I mean, the thing
like
is, I love Sigourney Weaver, so I'm cool with it too. But
I would, yeah. I mean, I like
I
they're
mean,
joking
you don't
around
want
now.
two white saviors. You know, they already had one, so
Yeah,
I don't know if you want two of them. You know, but it was cool. I mean, I love
well,
Michael Sigourney, so
I like how they were joking around how it was that one goofy guy, but she wasn't pregnant in the movie, so seems like a miraculous death birth. Like,
yeah. And yeah,
okay.
I mean, I think she, you know, Sigourney's character did have this beautiful vision of like working with the Navi, you know. So in that sense, you know, there is something special about her. From the beginning, she was learning about them. She wasn't trying to take over their habitat. She was very enamored by them. So, you know,
Some of the things I had a problem with, the one scene with the kids, when they drag out the young son into the middle of the ocean, and the first time I saw was like, so did they set him up to like get killed or just to abandon
no,
him? I was unclear. I think the second time around they weren't trying to kill him, but it's kind of like he let him off. He let them off easy. The dude could easily have been dead. He left them off really easy. Oh, well, I know how you feel because you know I get that. She's like, no, bro. He barely even up. He did. I don't even think he said sorry. He they got it was too much, and then got forgiven too easily, and then like
yeah,
drowning in this movie, it doesn't exist in the real world where several characters drown and they don't have CPR at the end. They just lift them up to the surface and then they come back to consciousness, no CPR. Several people drown, three people drown in this movie and no CPR. They're just like, the water doesn't even come out their mouth. They just wake up. It's like, that's not how that works. I cannot
wait,
drown for 10 minutes.
they drown and wake up.
The young kid drowns. The whale saves him. No way to revive him. Revives. But that one, is real quick. Colonel whatever and the colonel and somebody else. But let's look at the colonel, right? He's like this. He gets choked out, first of all. He's like this for like 5 minutes, convulsing. Nobody, he just pulls him out the water and he's good. What?
Yeah.
And then I think the dad too. I think what's Jake Sully too? Didn't he also drown for a minute too? Nobody. It's
I
like, come
don't
on,
think he
man.
did. I don't think he did, but I mean, yeah.
So that really bothered me. You can't just anyway.
Oh, you know what I did love was Zoe Saldana when her son died. I felt that pain. I was just like,
Yeah,
you don't fuck with a
she killed
mom
it.
who just I was just like, no, she's going for it. She's gonna grab Spider
And
and
that
she's not
bothered me too,
fucking
though.
around.
So she was totally gonna kill Spider,
Oh yeah,
and did not apologize 1 second after. Now
no, yeah,
you got Jake hugging him, and she doesn't acknowledge him the whole movie. Barely not doesn't really acknowledge him the whole movie, which is
yeah,
fine. I kind of get where she's coming from, but I kind of don't because you married one of them. So
yeah,
does it make a difference if he gets his own avatar? What's the deal here?
yeah,
But yeah, she did not apologize. She did not give a fuck. She was like, I kind of get it, but it's kind of like they need to address that at some point. Um, and there was one more thing. Oh, the one mistake that really bothered me. It doesn't make sense to me. So in the final battle scene, um, they're all attacking, right? They're all in the war, and then all of a sudden the water Navi just disappeared. Keep in mind, their daughter.
yeah. What happened
They
with that? I
never.
didn't understand. I was like, did I miss
They,
something?
something's off here because I don't know what he cut, but their daughter's still missing at that point. They don't know
Yeah,
where their daughter's at.
yeah,
They never come for her. Dude, at one moment you're mad at Jake for bringing your family into this. They have your daughter. Kate Winslet says this is your fault. And then where are you though? Because she's still with Jake's family, and the whole army just disappears. They're just gone.
yeah. Okay, I thought I missed something. I thought like, did I go to the restroom and I missed something? Like, I kept
I
thinking
seen it
back to
twice.
that, and I was like, okay, so they just disappear.
You can't see me, dog.
I
I was
can
re-
I can forgive all things but that because that makes
I was
no sense.
I
And
was
that's
really
for James
confused.
Cameron. Yeah, for James Cameron, that's a fail. Like that made no sense to me. where's the army? Where your daughter's still missing? She's hanging out with Jake's family, and they're not looking for her. What is going on? They just disappeared.
Maybe they'll
No
adjust
context.
that. Maybe
They
they'll
they
adjust-
fucked it up already. This guy, hopefully, there's an extended version where that's back in there. He said he cut out 10 minutes of gun violence. Maybe it's in that. I don't know, but it's so weird. It's so weird. You're not looking for your daughter. They just
Yeah, I thought
disappeared.
that was strange too. Okay. I thought I missed something because I was like, where's everybody? Where's the whole, you know,
And then
I mean,
even and then Sigourney Weaver's character, when they're all drowning and she gets the butterfly, she should have stopped the other two. Hey, take a butterfly. It's like a cheat code. You can breathe endlessly with this butterfly. You should have had them all get one, but she's always doing her own thing. She's taking her time with the butterflies. And I knew what she was doing. I knew what she was doing. She's trying to control them to get the light. I get what she's doing, but she just said, hey, smart one over here. You two take butterflies and go find everybody. Hello? What's going on? So there was the first time I've seen a James Cameron movie when I was just like, those are some big issues for me, like where like it's hurting the movie. Because I just rewatched the first one. I still love it.
yeah.
It was a good movie, and I love seeing blockbuster cinematic movies in the theaters. So I did enjoy the experience, especially
Yeah.
I enjoyed shifting to the kids and watching their
Yeah.
story.
Yeah.
The only one kid I didn't like was the little daughter. Stop bringing the little girl to everything. I didn't even like her. She's annoying. Stop bringing her everything. She wasn't annoying as other kids, but I'm annoyed at the older kids for bringing her all the time. She's a child. Leave her behind. Stop it. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm not bringing Friday to something like that. Are you kidding me? Like, stop it. What's wrong with them?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just a cultural thing. Like even what you were
Could
talking
be.
about them bringing the, um, Jake Sully's son out to the whale or to the ocean to get killed. I don't think it was to get killed, but definitely. I mean, I don't know. The thing is, they left him there. What did they think was going to happen too?
Yeah, it's
So
forbidden for a reason.
yeah,
And
so
they just like, oh, rushed it off.
I don't know if they brushed it off. I think that was also cultural, just kind of like they have to be like, a certain
I
type
think
of
it's a cop out. Cop out to
maybe.
say it's cultural. That's some like fucking
I
psycho
think
shit what they did.
I mean, I don't even know if it's cultural as much as like it's the mentality of like how he has to be. It's he's being raised by a very stereotypical army American dad who like is tough on him and like and they're very much militarized as much as they're very connected to the ocean and nature. So it's like this militant mentality. Um, I
With
think in that sense, that's why there was forgiveness. Like it's a brotherhood. You have to just accept it and like
what
um,
threw me off is it seemed like they were already bonding, and I was like, oh, that's cool. He's bonding with the other kids.
I
It seemed like
know,
they were already bonding. They were joking. They were laughing, and
I
then
know,
180. Oh no, you're freaks. Like, oh, okay. I thought
I
we just
know.
saw
That
the
was so
montage of them bonding.
fucked up, but it led him to this really amazing whale.
Yeah, and those whales look so real.
They
And then
did.
it was kind of like awkward though because I know James Cameron loves the water, and I'm watching it like this seems like a real big criticism of Japan right now because
About
Japan is known
Japan.
for killing whales and stuff like
Oh,
that. So
yeah,
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 he's trying to do good. He's like you watch the movie, you think how sad it is, and then maybe you'll research how it happens in real life.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. I mean, I think
so
that's why I think James Cameron has a lot of good intentions, and he has a lot of good intentions with the film. So that's why I'm more forgiving towards maybe the misrepresentation of the indigenous culture and having Kate Winslet, the leader of a tribe. you know, um, I think he just wants everything to be harmonious and all of us to work together, and I get that. But hopefully he can see the other side too, because I could see that too. I can see their pain and why they feel like you're using all of our culture and then you don't use us.
do you
So
have a rooster in your house? What is that?
it's Natalia. Should I get her?
Oh, poor
Yeah,
baby.
yeah. I got some sad news about her actually. I'll
Okay,
tell you about
don't
it
uh,
another
don't make the pod emotional. All right, it's the end of the year. So let's go to the top 5 movies of the year.
All right.
So if we have a same pick, will just say what place you have it in, and
Okay.
not
Okay.
repeat it.
Well, I was gonna say I have mine, but I don't know what order I would do it. But yeah, well, let's see. Let's see.
All right.
Let's
Well,
see what you.
let me start with my number five while you
Yeah.
try to figure it out.
Okay.
I wish I did more research on this because it's probably better picks, but my number five, I'm gonna go with Doctor Strange. Not the best
Oh,
multiverse movie, but
wow.
I
Okay.
loved it. I'm a big Sam Raimi fan, and
Yeah,
this
me
seemed
too.
back to form for him. Evil Dead in the Marvel universe. Obviously, the
Uh-huh.
movie has some issues, but overall, I go to movies for entertainment,
Yeah.
and I was entertained. And you know what? I just realized I need to kick Doctor Strange out because
Oh, I was gonna say we both had that on our list.
actually looking, should I kick it out? Or should I kick number four out? Oh shit! Because I just realized Spider-Man came out this year, right?
No,
No,
the
wait, what,
I'm
was that
pretty sure
last
that was
year?
last year because I went to see that so many times. Yeah, last year with Friday. Well, let's make sure. Let's see.
Yeah, because then I have to kick it out.
Yeah, it's 2021.
Okay, good. Okay, then I can keep it on the list. So yeah,
Yeah, I
it has
agree.
some issues,
That would have been more higher up.
but I was thoroughly entertained nonetheless. It's not as bad as people say.
Yeah.
Uh, Another movie did make it look less interesting though, but we'll get to that later. But number five, Doctor Strange. Where do you have it on your list?
Actually, I think that I would put that as number five for me. It was on my
Okay.
list, and I think I put it at number five.
What are your
I
thoughts on it? Any thoughts?
I 100% agree. I love him as a director. I'm surprised you liked it. I didn't know you liked it. I actually loved, like, I guess because I talked about it with Jonathan and I don't think he liked it. But
Oh, really? Good asking.
I love the like zombie stuff. Like it was so freaking cool when he got the notes and he like starts throwing it. It's like humorous and scary at the same time. I mean, it was just such a great movie. And when he lifts him back up and he's like, it was just like amazing. It was so good. I think there were some weak points, but I don't want to say too much about that.
Okay.
but um I would say because I guess in a way, sometimes I'll say like in a way, sometimes the relationship between Doctor Strange and America seemed forced. Sometimes, it didn't seem so organic or natural, and I think they're trying
I
this like Iron Man, Spider Man vibe, and I don't know. I felt like she's not a little girl; she looks like she's 22, so treating her like a
she
baby.
look 22 to me
Well,
anyway.
and anyway, to me that's the
I
part that
would
was like
say
kind of.
I would say him and Peter Parker felt more forced. Than I thought they had a little bit more
Oh, I like
chemistry.
their chemistry actually. Peter Parker and
I
Doctor Strange more.
That's the one thing about my criticism of Cumberbatch. I feel like he doesn't have a lot of chemistry with anybody in those movies or that character. To be honest, like his jokes never land. I would say he's a
Actually,
lot more
I like,
comfortable in this movie,
yeah.
but I always feel like we could probably have a better Doctor Strange than him. Like
Oh wow, I
Keanu Reeves would have been.
love Cumberbatch as
I feel like he's just the most chemistry he's had is probably with Tony, just because they're so different. But when they put Peter with him, he doesn't really have anything. Chavez
well
was a
to
little
me
bit better
I
for
like
me,
it
but
because he's like so annoyed by him, but then at the same time he can't help but like feel bad for
if
him
you
and like that chemistry is actually like fun for
if you go
me.
back, but it's also just like if you go back to the first movie, none of his jokes land. Like really, like he's kind of stiff. He's kind of a stiff actor. So I
Oh
felt he was
wow,
more
no, I love
comfortable in
him.
this movie, but
He is comfortable in this.
I
I
don't
think
think
you can
he's going to
tell
be the best
he
Doctor
had a lot
Strange.
of fun in this movie. Like he was just
Yeah.
like he went for it. I love Doctor Strange. I actually
Well, I will
saw that
say
on.
actually, him and
Huh?
Wong have great chemistry. So I shouldn't say, yeah, him
Yeah,
and
they
Wong do have good.
do. Wong
Yeah.
has a great. My one complaint too about the Doctor Strange series is Wong's costume. I feel like he should have something so cool and badass that people want to cosplay him. It's so basic.
Since he's the
His
Sorcerer Supreme, so
Yeah, like give him something cool. Even the previous Sorcerer Supreme, I'm forgetting her name.
you're right. Yeah, yeah.
Tilda Swinton
Swinton.
had
Yeah,
such,
yeah.
such something so memorable and cool with the bald head and the yellow robes.
You
Like I
know what
feel
it
like
is?
Wong should look so cool.
I feel like because I know the movie is definitely rushed. I feel like they decided to change because supposedly he was blipped and then now it's saying he's not blipped. So I feel like it was a last minute addition to say he's actually the Sorcerer Supreme. So
Yeah,
they didn't really think of it. So now he's just stuck as how he always looks. But you're right.
I
He
mean,
actually should have a Sorcerer Supreme look, and they
they
should make a
should.
fun. They should have a joke about it. Like, you know what? I need better attire and like look better
They
in Doctor
should
Strange.
because I love my boy Wong, and it's like, come on, like give him something cool, and like people would dress like him at the cons, and like who's gonna dress in that
You
little?
still can like he's
You
kind of
still
like the
can,
default. He's the
you
default
still
uniform.
can,
That's what he is. Default
yeah.
uniform is one. But all right, let's move on. We can't talk about Doctor Strange all day. Number four, I put Prey, the Predator movie Prey.
Oh, actually, I'm gonna remove one of mine and put Prey.
Okay. So Prey was a really good movie. Really, finally a good Predator sequel. Another indigenous movie. It's been a good couple of years now. We're getting a lot of indigenous appreciation. So Latino indigenous appreciation. So Prey,
I
really
know.
good movie.
I
Enjoyed it
don't think I
thoroughly.
have,
Wish they put
but
it
I
in
don't have
theaters.
Prey. I don't have Prey as
Yeah.
All right, so I don't think I have Prey second to the last though. I'm gonna have Prey higher.
What number?
Probably number two.
Okay.
I
Wow.
think, yeah, I think that it was kind of a perfect movie, honestly, for me. Like I loved her journey. I love that, I love how she, finds the concept of like having the string on the axe and like her fight, like the believability of how she fought the predator was great because I didn't know how one person like without any weapons was going to fight, the predator, but they made it so believable. And they cast indigenous people. I think everything from beginning to end, I was moved, I was captivated. The spectacle was great. It's actually such a tragedy that it wasn't shown in theaters.
Yeah,
From
that's
beginning
my
to
main
end,
complaint.
it was good. It was great. Um, yeah, I would
Yeah,
say
they just threw it on
number two.
Hulu.
But so right second to or number four is Violent Night.
Okay. I don't know what that
With
is, so go ahead and explain it.
it's with uh oh my gosh, Dave Harbor. He plays Santa. And it's just
Oh,
so, oh my god, and John Leguizamo plays the villain.
so that was
um
good, huh? I
oh
thought
it
he was like a
was,
bad Santa.
that's what everybody thinks, but no, I mean,
Don't spoil it
kind
while
of.
you talk about it.
Okay, well, I would say he's gray, I mean, he's got blood on his face in the poster. But it's amazing. Like literally, I'm going to watch it every year. That's going to be a classic for me. Like,
Is he a murderous Santa?
do you want me to tell you?
Well, I mean, is that a spoiler? Is it like
I
Silent
don't
Night,
know.
Deadly
Is
Night?
it?
You seen Silent Night, Deadly Night?
No, I never seen that.
It's about
Um,
a serial killer Santa Claus. I think it was.
oh, I'll
I'm
say
sure it
no,
was.
it's not. I'll say that it's not that, but he's definitely a complicated Santa, and I literally he's like the best Santa to me.
Is he like the American version of Krampus? Is that what's going on?
I see Krampus too. I mean, I have seen Krampus. I love Krampus, but
Yeah.
no, it's different. It's different.
Okay.
You got to see it. You will
All right.
love it.
Who is it
Actually,
on?
it's so
Is it on a
fucking good.
network? Is it on something? Right?
Well, right now, I mean, it's still in theaters, so I would go see it in
Oh,
theaters if you can. But yeah, you could rent it. We ended up renting. We were gonna see it in theaters, but we were all sick. But we rented it on Prime,
okay.
so you can
All right.
rent it
Let's go.
online or go to the theaters to see it.
All right. My number three, which I know you have issues with, is Smile. My
Oh,
favorite
okay.
horror movie since Hereditary. I think you misunderstood what kind of creature they were working with here, but it was a great movie, great cinematography.
I
Um,
was, yeah. I
yeah,
mean,
enjoy through and
I
through.
think like, didn't you tell me that it stayed with you, and that's why you thought more of it, or is this something else that you
No,
told me about?
that was Pearl, which I almost put on
Oh,
this list just for the.
I put
See,
that
I
on my
don't.
list.
So Pearl, I would maybe put number six only because the performance, especially Pearl herself, was so good. It did
Yeah,
stay with
God.
me, even though I
Yeah.
thought the movie was okay. The cinematography, just the actors were phenomenal. Just
Yeah.
for as far as the story, it was like, not much really goes on. But even in TikTok, her "I'm a star," like her performance was so amazing. Uh,
Amazing. So I
she
put Pearl
could get a
instead of
mention.
Smile. Pearl
Okay,
was
so
my
you
number.
got
Pearl's my number 3.
perfect. So Pearl's number 3. What
Yeah.
what made it number 3 for you?
I think I actually really did enjoy the writing and the pain that she had, and like you just feel. I mean, I felt really drawn in by her character, not just her performance, but by the way they wrote her, and that it really captured the time they utilized. I think that there was a lot of genre blending because it felt a little bit like Wizard of Oz at times,
Hmm.
and like then it would feel like like the Bad Seed, like a 1950s
I was
horror
gonna say, yeah,
film.
that's one of the
Yeah,
reasons I was digging it. Like, oh, I had the bad seed vibe in it, which I love.
yeah, like it was so cool, and like they made it so believable that she's just this very, very lost soul. Like even though she's so awful, I somehow still felt bad for her. um you know it was just
And
so
I
twisted
recommended it to
and
you.
intriguing. Pearl.
Yeah, that was my recommendation to you in the podcast. I told you you would like it. You should go see it.
Oh,
You don't
okay.
remember? No, you just saw
I
it
don't
anyway.
remember,
Okay.
but
To nothing deep on Pearl.
okay.
I just wanted for Pearl. You should see it. That's what I wanted to tell you.
Oh yeah, I want to see it. It's on the list.
It's way better than X.
That's what I hear.
The cinematography, the act, she's amazing. She deserves an Emmy. It's really good. Horror wise, I don't think it's a good horror movie, but it's a really good movie.
Okay.
Because I didn't even like X.
You
But I
did
do like Pearl. I didn't love Pearl, but then it stayed with me. So like, okay, that's a sign of a good movie.
But I do remember that a lot of people were talking about it, and that Scorsese said it was like the best. Apparently, like the best movie, one of the best movies he's ever seen. So that got me like,
I just
okay,
need
I gotta go see it.
I need a little bit more in the middle. Interesting enough, people were saying, the one other thing I liked, she meets the guy that works in the film, the projectionist. People
Yeah.
were saying, cast him as a new Superman. What do you think about him?
Cast 2 is a new Superman?
The guy, the projectionist that she meets.
Oh, interesting. I can see that. I can see that.
Let's go to
I
number
liked
2.
it. All right.
Number 2, Smile, I would rate 9. What would you rate Pearl?
10.
Okay,
Definitely
10.
10.
So
Yeah.
3. So there's all 10s from here on out, right?
Yeah, because
So-
number two is Prey. Already talked about
So-
it, but that was my number 2.
So my number 2 is Black Panther.
Oh
Which-
shoot!
Oh,
I should have
look
put
at
that
you.
on my list.
I originally had it as a 10. I'm dropping it down to 9 because I did see it again. I was like, I could see the problems more. Once you get over the emotional stuff and just see it as a movie, you take the emotion out. Drop it to a 9. Still a great movie. But yeah, Black Panther is still a great movie. Just there's issues if you get past the real world emotional stuff, you can. It's not really a 10 anymore for me, but it's still a great movie, so I did enjoy it.
Yeah, I think. Oh man, that should have made my list probably. But that's hard. Yeah. Oh my gosh, because I do like Prey. I think. Oh, I think Prey. I do like it more. It feels a little bit more. It was an original screenplay, whereas Wakanda Forever still is, but it's based off a lot of source material. So maybe I'll give it higher points for trying to find something out of an existing franchise and coming up with an original concept in Prey. So yeah, I'll give it higher than Wakanda, but man, that's definitely an honorable mention, and it should have made my list.
And we got all 4 of yours so far, right? We didn't skip any of your 4, right?
Number 1 is
Okay.
the only one I haven't done.
So I think we're probably in the same thing here.
Yeah.
10, Everything, Everywhere, All at
Everywhere,
Once.
all at once. Yep.
Best movie of the year, best movie, maybe in the last couple good years. And
Yeah.
it really hurts Doctor Strange because Multiverse of Madness, it was not. This was. And for many directors.
And they came out at the same time, exactly the same time. In fact, I saw both on my birthday and then got this tattoo after that. and it's a 3-eye amoeba.
Are you kidding me? Come on, dude. And did you get to see that the extended version? There was an extended version that was in theaters. That's the one I saw in theaters.
Of Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
don't even know
know.
what they added, but there, yeah. So there's even an extended version. But yeah, the movie is absolutely phenomenal. The return
Yeah.
of oh, I don't even know his name. I don't remember his name, but the Indiana Jones kid
Oh
who just
yeah.
kills it. Michelle Yeoh just
Yeah.
killing it lately. The kids from YouTube that does the karate. He was the Deaf Eater or whatever his name is, and Shang-Chi. Everything was just phenomenal. The writing, the action,
But yeah,
everything everywhere all at once. It was a great movie. The only real issue I had with it was they made it pretty clear that she left her husband in that bad time. That was a real husband in that bad timeline, and she decided to join the family in the good timeline. And he was the one she stabbed. It was just like abandoned there. She pretty much abandoned it. That's the only issue with that movie. It was made pretty clear to me because it is confusing on the first watch. I've seen it multiple times. Like, no, she definitely left her husband in that bad time. Her real husband. It's like a Rick and Morty thing where you could just pick the one you want, but it's like, dude, you totally abandoned him. You stabbed him and abandoned him. So that was kind of, for me, that was kind of fucked
because
up.
she stayed with the one that introduced her to hopping, right?
No. He dies.
Oh.
She goes to there's a split of parallels at one point where she becomes a criminal, and one where nothing happens but they continue their life and work out their problems. But
Okay.
the one in her reality is the one that she fucked up and attacked everybody because she was attacked. And then
Right.
she goes to the split timeline when nothing happens, but they work shit out. But it's fine. But you stabbed your actual husband. I guess you apologize, but then you left him there. So it's like that did happen.
But wasn't he?
You didn't bring
with
him.
Wasn't he okay with them ending things or no? I
No.
don't remember.
Oh, I mean, he
Yeah,
did
I
have
mean,
divorce papers, but he didn't want to
Yeah.
leave her. He didn't want to leave
But
her,
he-
but it's like, okay, she
But he was
doesn't.
divorcing her, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
the timeline they're in is he has divorce papers too. It's no difference. There's literally no difference other than they didn't attack the.
I mean,
the
but I
IRS,
wouldn't say
whatever.
that it's like a flaw in the writing. It's more a flaw in the character.
No,
which-
no. I'm just saying this is one thing I didn't like about the movie
Oh, okay.
because it was unclear the first time, but after rewatching it so many times, like, oh yeah, no, she definitely stabbed him and left him, so it was like kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
I just
How about the
yeah,
dynamic between the daughter and the mom? That was just,
It was great. It was all really
great.
good.
yeah. It was
Everything
really
about
good.
that movie is phenomenal with the acting, the writing,
I
the
have
message.
to say, like, I didn't think too highly, or I mean, I liked them. I liked Swiss Army Man, and their music videos, but I would never have thought that they would have created something so great and beautiful like this.
Well, they had time because they, like we said, they wrote it 10 years ago, whatever, trying to get it off the
Yeah.
ground, and they had to watch Rick and Morty and Marvel beat them to the punch. But theirs
Yeah.
is better because there wasn't rushed. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
I
that's
think
it.
it was like a perfect movie. I cried, I was moved, it was funny, there was action. It's a female heroine done right, and like there's weirdos, and I mean, everything about it was just so good. And like I watched this discussion between Jamie Lee Curtis and Michelle Yeoh. Oh no, it was Jamie Lee Curtis and Kate Blanchett, I believe. No, sorry. Oh my God. Jamie Lee Curtis and Colin Farrell. They were talking about their respective films, and he goes, "Why did the scene with the two rocks just hurt me, like weigh on me so much?" And it's interesting that something so simple can just move you, and it was just so beautiful. Like, yeah, when they were talking and it was silent and everything was just being transcribed through subtitles, it was kind of like it weighed on you. And it's such a silly scene. They've got like those little didn't they have like sticky eyes, I think? The
well,
rock.
that's the theme throughout the movie with the dad with the sticky eyes.
Oh,
So
okay.
when she starts putting the eyes up, that means she finally worked things out with him. because he
Oh,
puts it on everything. It's throughout the whole movie.
It's just, and then to see, I can't pronounce his name. I did look it up, but K.Y. Kwan, to see Kwan, Mr. Kwan, back was just so amazing. It's just such a beautiful. It's a timeless film. It's going to be a classic,
Did you see him hug Harrison Ford?
of course.
Their first
And
meetup
I-
in whatever years.
And I got emotional.
All right, that's it. I think we're
So
over
we
an
both
hour.
agreed that that one was number 1 and Doctor Strange was number 5.
Yeah.
Or did you remove Doctor Strange?
No, because Spider-Man was last year, so
Okay.
he gets to stay in the top 5. It is probably the weakest on the list, though. But
I would say an honorable mention is Glass Onion. I don't know if you saw it, but everybody should go see it. Should see it on Netflix. It's
yeah, it's on Netflix.
very good.
Is as good as the first one. The first was the
Oh.
only movie I like from Rain Johnson because
Rian
he's been
Johnson.
wanting to do a damn detective movie forever, never made a proper one, and then he finally made a proper one, and it was finally good because he finally stuck
was
to what he should be doing.
This
I've been
is,
I
this
haven't heard
is-
great things about this.
I promise you, this is next level.
Okay,
It
because
was
I haven't
very
heard
good.
anything good. You're the first person. So.
Edward Norton kills it. Janelle
Yeah, I saw that
Monáe
he's back.
kills it. Yeah, like it's phenomenal. It was just as good, if not maybe even better. They definitely take it up a notch. They take it up
Okay.
a notch.
Okay.
So that's an
We'll see.
honorable mention that I would have added to the list, but there was just definitely a lot of good ones this year. Nope is another honorable mention to me too. Nope was
Okay.
on
I haven't seen it, so I probably missed out. That's something I would have wanted to see in the theaters, but just didn't get a chance to.
oh, it's a good one.
No say. All right.
All
That's
right,
the end. Go back to the movies.
go back to the movies. Hold on, let me have Natalia say bye too. Hi, Mama. This might be not gonna make it sad, but I don't know if you're gonna
Oh my
see her again.
Oh my god, the baby.
Say
Natalia.
bye, Mama. Say bye, baby.
Oh, dude, you just made it worse. Oh, poor baby girl.